Homes LLC. So the goal for this presentation is I don't really want it to be kind of like a one-way, I'm telling you everything about my business. I want it to be just a brief overview of the business, what we do, our successes, and how we can help you in what you're looking for in investments. And then after that, do kind of an open roundtable question and answer kind of thing, just so I can find out. Because a lot of people are looking for different investments, whether it's the risk, like high-low risk, the return, long-term, short-term, anything like that. So that's why I just want to find out as much as I can about you guys to see what I can provide for you. So Hamish Homes is a professional full-service real estate firm based out of Southwest Florida. We specialize in buying old and outdated homes at a pretty significant discount, renovating them up to fair market price, and then selling them to a retail home buyer. So the partnership, I partner with Eric and Renee Degelow. They own Tropic Coast Homes, and we have been partnered up since actually we moved out of Florida last January. And they have been active. They're from Minnesota. They moved down a few years ago. They've been on and off for about 25 years investing in real estate, and they have just been. They started full-time investing in 2018 with a group called Fortune Builders, who is the country's largest real estate education company, and they've trained and educated and given resources to tens of thousands of real estate investors throughout their career. So this is a huge resource for us when we are scaling up to where we want to be. So the story of us, we partnered, as I said, with Tropic Coast Homes last year, so in February. In March, we established our entity of Hamish Homes, and then in April, we purchased our first property. Since then, we've bought another 9 properties and sold 6. So just from the buy, rehab, and then sell process, we sold 6. And actually, we bought our last property 2 days ago, which is pretty exciting. So as I said, the partnership is myself with Hamish Homes, Eric with Tropic Coast Homes, and then we have an agent who works about 90% of his time is spent searching for deals for us in the market that we're in, which is really competitive, as you guys know. I'm sure Cleveland's really competitive right now with the housing market. And our contractor, Mike Carroll, most of his work is done through us. He was a contractor he was a general contractor for about 20 years, doing small retail, kitchens, bathrooms. And then last year when he partnered with, he started working for us, he to accommodate for the amount of properties that we are doing projects on. So it's really exciting. So he's scaling up, we're scaling up in our agent as well. We're all really, I would say, we're very new to this. We're pretty established in the area. I don't know many people in the Southwest Florida area who are doing the volume that we're doing. There's only 4 of us right now, so we are really happy with how we are as a team, with where we want to go for the next few years. And I think that's just really crucial for the success that we've been having in the past and that we will be having in the future. The process of our business is that we have the due diligence period is crucial for making sure our numbers are solid. So what we do is 8 o'clock in the morning is typically when the brand new properties come out on the market. Our agent sends us the properties. I'm sitting on my computer at 8 o'clock with my coffee and my laptop waiting for these deals. We do a quick 15-minute analysis, doing basic stuff, so analyzing the photos, seeing what we think it will cost to rehab the property, and then we see what we can sell it for, just based off the highest comps in the area because of the finishes that we do to our properties. And then based off those numbers, we see what our maximum allowable offer is, and then once we send an offer in through our agent, we negotiate for 45 minutes to an hour, and then by 9 o'clock, 9:15, we're under contract on a property that's only been on the market for an hour. Because this is our full-time business, and a lot of the guys who we're competing with down there, a lot of the other investors, they have 9 to 5 jobs, or they're part-time, or they're out of town, so they only get to see the properties that afternoon or that night. And by the time they get on the computer, we've already taken up the really good deals. So that's another reason why we've had the success of scaling up just in the first year. So the competitive advantage that we have, as I said, is that we're the first one to offer because this is our full-time job. We are dedicated and committed to the success of our business. We pay cash as well, so a lot of the conventional financing takes 30 to 45 days to complete. There's appraisals, there's inspections, all that kind of stuff. We pay cash, we close in as quick as 14 days. For people who are going through a bit of a tough spot in life, they want to liquidate some asset, they have credit issues, we can help them out really well by giving them a quick close in 2 to 3 weeks that they wouldn't typically get. So we close as is, where is, all junk removal, all that kind of stuff. They just leave it, and the peace of mind that they're getting from us being able to take care of their problems is what gets us the really good deal. So we're able to get a 10, 15, 20% discount sometimes on these houses just because of these people are so fed up with whatever's going on, or even they're not fed up with what's going on. They just want to leave and cash out and go to the next town. But that's something that we've been really good at, is negotiating terms instead of price, just like the junk removal. Like about 3/4 of our properties, their stuff, it probably costs between $3,000 and $5,000 for removalists to get all the stuff out of their house. And if they're downsizing, it's just a complete headache. So they're willing to give us the price deductions, so they can just bring a suitcase and then leave, and we can deal with it. Also, the discounted rehab price, because we only use one general contractor, he gives us a discounted price because he knows that there's going to be a consistent flow of projects that he has. So we have anywhere between 5 of the rehab project, the rehab budget, and that's we've been getting every project we've been getting competition and trying to find other general contractors to try to compete for his bid, and every single time he outbids them every single time. And he also gives us great quality. You'll probably see the photos later. So this is our business model. What we're able to get the quick sale is because we have the high-end finishes. We target the wealthy people in the northwest, the northeast, and out west. People who are fed up with a lot of these blue state policies coming down to Florida, where it's a lot easier for people to kind of prosper with money and all that kind of stuff. So the last 2 properties that we've actually sold, we sold to cash buyers before we finished the rehab. So the contract was all signed. The last one was 6 weeks. We still have 6 weeks left in the rehab project, and we just received today a $50,000 non-refundable deposit because we have a very consistent outline with what we do to our properties. We do high-end finishes. We're very consistent with how we post online, the videos we post. We market to very specific areas around the country, to people, to snowbirds, to people who are moving down from the northeast, because I'm sure you guys know a lot of the migration patterns that are happening. People are moving down to places like Texas and Florida, and Southwest Florida is actually increasing 1,000 people per week moving to Southwest Florida. And that's something that is really helping us to sell these houses because the demand is really high and there's not much supply. And we're also, when we actually get to the stage of, if we get to the stage of having to put these houses on the market, we spend between $2,000 and $3,000 to fully furnish our homes. That way, the buyer, when they walk through, if they're spending a good amount of money, they want to envision themselves in this house. And if it's going to be just a blank canvas, it's really hard for them to kind of detach emotionally and see where they are. So having it fully furnished really helps them, and actually the spending $2,000 to $3,000 on furnishing really comes back to us on the sale price because people are comfortable with where they feel that their next 5, 10, 20 years are going to be in that house. So I believe everyone has a copy of the previous and the current properties that we have. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I just wanted to show you guys the ROI and the cash on cash return that we've been getting. So this is an order from our first property to our last property. This is just going to show you guys the success that we've been having, and when we started our business, we kind of shot with a wide net to see what was working, and as we were getting our properties, we were finding what was working, the niche that we were succeeding at, and this actually helped us increase the ROIs as we've gone to become more of an efficient business. So that's really helped us with, obviously with the cash sales as well. That's been a huge, so you see down there pre-sold, and then this one up here, the 36 was also pre-sold, so just the momentum that we're carrying is really working in our favor. So private lender. So what is a private lender? A private lender is someone who loans private money to secure a real estate purchase, basically for our business. And the difference between a hard money lender and a private lender, so a hard money lender is a short-term lender, and they're the ones, it's a company that does a high interest payment, short-term loan for real estate investors like us, where we're able to close in 14, 21 days. And it's a high interest loan there, and they only cover up to like 85% of the total cost of the purchase and the rehab. And the rest of the 15% up to the total purchase and rehab price is where the private lender comes in through the second position of the mortgage. And they're the people who are able to help us get to the properties that we want to get to, obviously scaling them to where we want to be. So with the private lenders, it is secured and assured by the actual physical asset. It's not like it's an unsecured credit card. It's not like a stock or a Bitcoin or anything like that where it can just disappear. As you guys know, the real estate is actually the physical asset, and the value is tied to that physical asset. So it's a lot safer than a lot of the other investment notes. The first and second position, as I was telling you about, the 85% of cost, the hard money lender who's taking the majority of the mortgage is in the first position because they have the majority of the mortgage. And the second position is where the private lender, the private money is going to be placed. So that's going to be the two most secure positions. When we sell a property, the first position is going to get paid first, the second position is going to get paid second, which is the private lender, and then we get the crumbs, we get whatever's left over. We've been doing pretty well, as you've probably seen from the sheet. We're doing really well. All of our lenders have been seeing great returns, and most of our lenders have been coming back every single time we have a new deal coming up. So as long as we're making money.
Can you move a little closer to us?
Yeah.
Because of the background noise.
Yeah, you gotta speak up a little bit.
Yeah, because all you have to do is move closer.
Yeah. So as long as we're making money, even if we make $1, if we make $10,000, $20,000, our lenders are still making money at the end of the day. And in the first and second position is the safest because we legally owe you money from the project that obviously the project that you funded. So by us in the equity position, it's more of a, we have to put ourselves in the position to make money. As long as we make money, we're going to make money. So it's all good. And the short term note as well. So our notes are a standard 12-month note, which is the mortgage for the property. And you're actually locked into the asset by itself. It's not going to be like a REIT, like a real estate investment trust. It's not going to be a pool of money. Your loan is going to be attached to the actual physical asset. And throughout the project, it takes about between 4 and 7 months on average to do a complete project, from picking up keys to dropping the keys off from the seller. So it's very, I think people who we work with, who invest in our business, they really like the short-term notes that we offer. It's not going to be riding the roller coaster of some of the stock market that we've been seeing in the last 12, 18 months. It's really consistent short-term notes that you can continually renew every single property that comes up. So this is basically how the process works. What we're going to do is what the private lender will do. So they fund the deal. Once we close on the property and get the title, then the title documents will be sent to the private lender, because you guys will be, as our names on the property, your names will also be on the property as a private lender. So the home's purchased, the home's renovated, the house is sold, and then the title company or the attorney, depending on who we work with, they'll be sending the profit or the principal and the interest back to you. It's super simple, and it's really easy to just continue to do that process over and over again. So there's a few benefits with being a private lender in real estate. With a lot of the qualified IRA and a lot of the retirement accounts, it's tax deferred, I'm pretty sure most of the time. And so that's obviously with cash, you will have to maybe getting taxed on the income on the interest that you bring in. There's no management fees with a lot of the money markets that you see, a lot of the portfolio lenders that you see with your stocks or anything like that. Sometimes you have to pay like a valuation, like 1% off the valuation plus the annual management fee or something like that. We don't charge any fees. It's just a simple transaction to cover the real estate cost. And as I said, it's pretty low risk based off the equity that we have in the property, as well as it being backed by the physical asset. So there are 3 pillars of safety and security that tie your money to the property. That is, one of them is insurance. You'll be added to the insurance as an insurance loss payee. So we actually spend, per property, we spend about $10,000 on insurance premium, like for each project that we do. We have 4 policies, so the builder has to have a liability policy for every project that he does. We have our own liability for the vacant dwelling for the property. We have a fire and we have a wind and flood. So for hurricane season between June and October, if one of the houses were to blow over, to be completely damaged, then you guys would be paid out. The private lender would be paid out based off the mortgage deed, based off what we agreed upon, the interest, the returns that we agreed upon. The second one is the mortgage deed. So your name, the same as our name is on the title of the property, your name will be there as well. So that's just an added security measure, just to keep everyone, just keep everyone responsible and keep everyone in line, just in case anything were to happen. Your name is there, so you legally are getting, pay the interest that we had agreed upon. And then the promissory note. I'm sure most of you know what a promissory note is, just a legally binding promise to pay you back the agreed upon terms. So for each property that we have a project on, we have different entities, different LLCs. So for example, if you were lending on project A and someone slipped and hurt themselves on project B and decided to sue us, your money's still protected, your money's still safe, because it's two completely different entities. So that way it's just an added level. It does cost us a little bit of money for the extra LLC, but at the end of the day, it's a lot safer return, it's a lot safer for us, and it's a lot safer for our lenders. And also in the unlikely instance of foreclosure, the first position holder, which would probably be the hard money lender, has 85% of the mortgage, they would take control. If we miss a payment, if we skip town, they would take the property, they would sell it, and then based off the mortgage deed, they will pay the private lender back for what they had owed. So if the process were to go really well, we'd be making money, you'd be getting your money back, you'd be making money. If it won't go well, we skip town or form a foreclosure, then you'd still be getting paid either way. So as I said, most of the lenders who we deal with, they invest with their retirement accounts, their qualified IRAs, and I think that's really good because there's money that, if you're not retired, that's money that you can't really tap into. So we work with a company called Horizon Trust, and they're a third-party custodian who makes the process really simple. They grab your money basically from your retirement account, move it over to the title company or the attorney, whoever you work with. When the project is done and the property is sold, then the money is taken out, the principal and the interest is taken out and put back into the retirement account with deferred interest, like deferred profits, tax deferred profits. The only thing with Horizon Trust is that it's $250 per transaction, but that's something that we pay for. So the only thing that you do throughout that process is fill out an application, and then Horizon Trust will take care of it for the rest of the way. So the terms and conditions that we are offering, we're offering a starting loan of $50,000 and with an annualized return percentage of 10%. And as I said before, the note it's a 12-month note, just a standard note. None of our properties have gone to 12 months, but that's just the standard 12-month note that most investors do. But most of our properties go between 4 and 7 months. So you'll see, obviously you'll see it forward, but if we were to have a permitting issue, if permits were to be delayed 2 months, then we would still be within that 12-month grace period, but I guess it's just part of the business, but it's typically 4 to 7 months. With the loans, depending if it's cash or if it's a retirement account, we can either, on the completion of the project, we can either send you back the principal and the interest in one payment, or we can do monthly interest-only payments throughout the entirety of the project, and then just the principal at the end. So whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever works for you guys, whatever works for us, it's really easy to do business with private lenders and with real estate investors. Typically, there's a lot less red tape, there's a lot less regulation with all that. So it's super simple. And obviously, all the documents will be recorded as well, as I said before, just to legally protect everyone involved. That way, your money's safe and secure. You're getting the return that we had agreed upon, and it protects us as well, just in case anything were to come up. Nothing's come up, but
While I'm thinking about it, before
Yeah.
we move too far on, how are you each investor hired
private money lender.
How is each one getting, is it being divvied up? Let's say you have 10 investors.
Yeah.
This particular property is divvied up 10 ways?
Let's say I had 10 investors that
That are investing in you.
Yeah.
and you purchase house A,
Yeah.
house B, house C, does every investor have a portion of A, B, and C?
No, it's for the one single property.
One unit.
Yeah. So
One home.
Yeah, let's just say like
So every home you go get, you're getting different investors or new investors.
correct. Yeah. So the investor per home. Yeah. So it's not going to be like a pool of money because it's not going to tie you to one.
So Julie, it's on average, how many investors are typically in a home?
Between anywhere between like 1 and 2 property lenders. It's not nothing crazy. It's just it really depends on the amount of money we're looking for. If it's a $300,000 house, it could be one. If it's $1 million house, it could be 2 or 3. But typically it's one or two of.
Say for the explanation, you had 10 investors and 50,000 each.
Yeah.
How would you go about purchasing? How do you go about separating
Separating
who gets where?
He's looking for an investor for a project.
Oh.
When he comes up with a project, he gets hard money, and then he says, I need an investment. And then it's like, George is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay? She put her money in on a house and has that soft
So in
money.
other words, he wouldn't put 10 people in one house.
In one, right?
Even if he had
I got
10
you.
people, they'd say,
I got you. I thought you wanted collecting all this money and then buying things with
Oh no,
as
so
individual.
No, you would be a lot. It wouldn't be like a stock where you just dump money in stock and then watch it go up and down. You would actually be a part of this process. You just
This particular house.
of this single 123 Main Street.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So these are just the top 3 questions that I've been asked. The first one is if you're doing so well, why do you need my money? Is the question. I understand that. To pretty much where we want to scale up to, we do use a lot of our own money, but we can't use it if we're going to buy one house per month. We can't use all our own money. So that's why if we want to scale up and we have a value to provide at a good double-digit, secure, safe return for some of our friends and family, not only will we be making money, then we'll be able to help out our friends and family with making money in a good, safe, solid return as well. So it's just scaling up purposes, creating a business that I can see where we can get to in the next 12, 24, 36 months.
So do you have some properties where obviously you're gonna make more money in them than others, and you let the person know what their return is gonna be, or? how does
It's like so when we
Return, it's 10%.
It's
Yeah.
always 10%.
Whether they make
Whether they
40% or 20% or 8%.
yeah, whether we make $1 on the property or $100,000 on the property.
Right, so it's always 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I think it's just a thing.
Whatever it was.
So another question is, I can get 10%, by myself in the market, and that's great as well. I'm sure you can get 10% in the market. Right now, I mean, obviously I'm biased. I work in real estate, and these are a few reasons why I feel that the 10% that a lender would invest in me is stronger than the 10% that you would get in the market. Obviously, not including the roller coaster that's going to happen later. So it is secured. The stock market is not secured. If a CEO were to get, fired for fraud or the stock were to drop, there's nothing securing your money to the value of stock that you bought. In real estate, your name is secured to the property, as your question was. So that's your name is secured to the mortgage deed, which is a huge safe haven, just in case something would happen. The stocks, you're uninsured. Bitcoin, you're not sure, just in case something would happen. As I said, if a company were to be bought out and your value, the stock would have dropped, 80%, you don't have insurance to get your money back. But in real estate and working with us, you do have insurance. If we went to go to foreclosure, if the building was to fall down, that would be insured and you would be paid out to what we had agreed upon. You invest at market price in the stock market. There's a $200 Tesla stock, you buy it for $200. It's pretty simple. We buy under market, undervalued properties in the market, and we always have, as we go throughout the rehab project and the process, we add more equity and the home is worth more as we're doing it. So we still, from day one when we pick up the keys, we still have more equity than a retail buyer. And then when we sell the property, obviously we have a lot more equity than when we started because the rehab project increased the value of the property. With stock market, obviously returns are unknown. Some time it could be 30%, some time you lose money. So, for example, my parents last March when the pandemic happened and there was uncertainty in the market, they lost about 25% of their portfolio, about $500,000 in a 2-month period. I'm sure some of you guys also saw some of the value of your stocks dipping. In real estate, in the 2008 crash, the country's largest real estate crash in history, the nationwide homes did drop by an average of 30%, but that was over a 2-year period. So because our homes are done typically between 4 and 7 months, we still have that short period of time to, if the market is correcting, we can sell it. Because we do have a lot of equity in the property that we can sell and still make money, still give you your money back or make you money. So that's also a safe haven just because we have obviously the value of real estate holds with a physical asset as opposed to the stock market. And obviously there's management fees I was talking about before. We don't charge any fees. And it's based on the tangible asset, as I was reiterating before. Yeah, that pretty much, I answered that before. So what if the real estate market goes down? In obviously real estate around the country, it's all regional. So in Southwest Florida has its own region of the real estate market. Other places around the country, there are some high foreclosure rates, high eviction rates, and it's obviously all regional. So in Southwest Florida, I was saying before, 1,000 people per week are moving to Southwest Florida. And the corrections, all the dips and all the ups of the real estate market is based off supply and demand. As long as there is more demand than supply, then prices aren't going to dip. And right now, we've estimated with 1,000 people per week, that's going to be continued for estimated 4 years. So as long as we keep even half of that, we're not going to see prices dip. Prices could stagnate, but that's still in the numbers that we've calculated. But we won't see any kind of crash happening in Southwest Florida in the immediate future. And also the population growth and the price, it's very slow moving, going up and going down with real estate. So the next step, so I handed out the property packet for the next property that we have. Actually, we got it under contract 3 days ago. We are looking for the second mortgage, looking for $120,000. The second mortgage, and that is going to be closing the 5th of May. I believe that's going to be closing on. So yeah, I mean, if anyone is interested in doing that, doing $120,000 for the second position, then please give me a call. Let me know if you guys, if you're interested. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to talk with you and try to help you out as much as I can. But if you aren't able to invest, if you aren't able to lend, but you do know someone, we offer a referral program. So it's $1,000 cash for every $50,000 that you refer to the business.
And if in that particular case, that $120,000, if you weren't able to find one person, that was able to come up with the entire 120, said, well, I want to start out, I'll do 50 or 60 or whatever. That might be one case where you might take on 2 people in the second position.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, if 2 people come and say we'll do 60 each, then that's definitely something that we could do. That's been done before.
So let's say that you invested $100,000. That's what you needed for the 15%. And you sold the house in 6 months, so you're getting 2.5% on your money? Or I'm sorry, you're 5%?
Yeah, so it's an annualized basis. So it's 10% for the full 12 months. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But obviously if you roll over and do a 12-month different properties, that's
I believe let's talk about the property that you're looking for right now. That you're looking for the money.
Yeah. So it's a gorgeous property on the riverfront in Southeast Cape Coral. It's a huge 3,700 square foot, I believe. 3,700 square foot property on the riverfront. It was a ranch style house, and there was an addition put up for a huge master bedroom upstairs overlooking the river. And a lot of from the comparable properties, you'll see a lot of the summary. This goes into detail with a lot of the expenses a lot of the costs that we're putting in to be able to not only get the main 85% mortgage, but also the insurance costs, the holding costs, financing costs. And also the top right will be the insurance, the interest rate for the $120,000, and whether you want to do a interest only monthly payment, which will be $1,000 a month for 8 months estimated whole time, or it'll just be principal and interest at the end of the completion of the project. And the next page is just the basic comparable properties in the area. And the first one, I'm sure you guys can check out the comparable properties. That's just basically confirming what we estimate to be the price per square foot of the complete property that we'll have. So the very conservative price per square foot is going to be $580. We think we can get higher than that, but that's just in the current market that we're in, we can see us probably selling for that. But what we think the property will sell for is actually $520 per square foot. But we're very conservative on our numbers. We always undercount what we think it'll sell for. We always add 10 to 15% contingencies in our rehab just in case something were to go wrong. Something will always go wrong. In every single one of our rehabs, it's gone over bar one. That's just how it is. But we always have in our numbers, so it's not gonna jump out of this. And then the next page is some photos, and then the recent projects that we've done with some basic photos, and that's also what you have in one of the sheets. So.
Why you chose the Cape Coral area? Just
Why?
because that's where you decided to live there?
Oh no, we
so ironic.
No, we decided to live there. We decided to live there when we got our offer accepted. It wasn't. Doing that business in Cape Coral, that's exploding right now, and that's where the biggest opportunity is. That's where the biggest opportunity
I
is.
just
So,
question whether the rest of the state isn't, and also, or
I can't talk about the rest of the
very
state.
familiar.
That
with
Southwest is just always been.
Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with. I know Cape Coral like the back of my hand, and I'm pretty familiar with Naples up to Tampa. That's where we're starting to expand up north to Port Charlotte.
And Naples is a separate world, right? No matter what's going on in the economy, Naples is just going to keep chugging along.
Yeah. One of our properties is in Naples. It's doing really well with the.
So if you wanna invest your,
What's that?
retirement
Marco,
funds,
I want it.
just fill out that application and
Yeah.
they'll handle everything.
Yeah, but Horizon Trust, so that'll
You
send
don't
you.
get penalized or anything for using your 401k retirement funds, anything like that.
It really depends. I mean, they're the subject matter experts.
Okay.
I don't
No,
know.
I mean, as long as, because it's really like you're investing in another, you're still in the IRA.
You go to
Yeah,
that
so-
self-directed.
Yeah. So it's a separate IRA because that's what the Horizon Trust. That's what they do. Is they know everything with the retirement accounts inside and out, so they can move it from like a solar K, 401k into the actual. I think it's like the mobilized, the self-directed, so they're able to move it from your account to the title company and back.
So what if you had two folks that wanted to put 25 each in for something? How would you manage that?
That would be.
I mean, you'd still get 50, but if you had two collectively, we
Yeah.
could.
What we could do, have close hypothetically those two people. We could do.
You and your significant other potential.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
know something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've done it before. It's not a big deal. We would probably have one of them. If the money was separate, we would have one of them in the second position, secured with the insurance and everything, and the other one would just be just gap funding secured with that'd be secured with the insurance and the promissory note, but they would be on board because you don't be allowed to have it one savings.
Right. Joe, I'm sorry, you done over
That's
there?
right.
Yeah.
So, Steve's asking how quickly, and I don't know if you know this answer, but it's a Horizon question. Does the money get moved back? So the house is sold, the
Yeah.
raise cashed out.
Yeah.
How quickly do you get your money back in your IRA?
So they told me anywhere between 3 and 7 days.
How many?
3 and 7 business days.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because this question was, if it sits there for 30 days.
Yeah, no,
This,
yeah.
So, but that's their business. I mean,
Right.
that's their business. They wouldn't be in business if they were gonna put you in a position to be penalized.
Yeah, well, I get it, but you don't want to be.
Right.
That's how I went through.
You're gonna make 10%.
Yeah, all the people who we've worked with, it's always been.
Just sit in limbo,
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's not what we've experienced at all. It's always been between 3 and 7 business days, depending on how busy they are. So,
Anytime you move money, it's about
Yeah, but they're,
these guys are-
Verizon does it for a fee, and they pay the fee.
Right.
yeah, I mean, because they work, the Fortune Builders, the education company, they are partnered with Horizon Trust. So they pretty much work exclusively with real estate investors. That's why it's just repetition. They just get super efficient with what they're doing. That's why it's only 3 to 7 days as opposed to someone said 3 weeks. I think someone said 3 weeks. It took them that long. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the frequently asked questions, and those are the answers there. I put that on the printout sheet. Here are some of the photos from our previous properties. And if you guys want me to go back, just ask. That was George's property.
That was mine.
That just sold, right?
Yeah, that was a pre-sold. We sold that 2 weeks before. We finished the rehab to a couple in Delaware who were looking to GTFO down in Florida. Yeah. This is actually our first $1 million property, which this is a this is an amazing property that we're doing. We're putting about $400,000 of our rehab into this property to make it worth. It's probably going to sell for about $1.95 or $2 million. But we're really excited for that. That's going to be done in about 2 months.
Is that on the Calusa actually?
It is, yeah. And that's the same as this one. This one's on the Calusa as well. I think this is just north. That's
Correct.
Would you pay for that?
We bought it for $900.
You're gonna sell it for 2, what are you gonna put into it?
425 right now.
If nothing goes wrong.
Actually, our original budget was 390, and then we had to put another 30 into it because we had some framework had to be replaced. But again, we always have 10-15% in contingencies, so we're never really surprised with what's going to happen.
To that point, you were telling last night the story about the pipe issue you guys had,
Yeah.
the decision you made.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm sure you guys know. I'm not sure if cast iron pipes are big up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so down in like Southwest Florida, cast iron pipes they corrode really quickly just because of the
copper.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to. It's a big, depending on the size of the house, it's anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 to get that replaced. But no one's going to spend top dollar, which is what we charge for our properties. No one's going to spend top dollar when they have to rip up the floor again and replace the cast iron pipes. So with one of the properties, this property, when we were going to be laying down the floor, our GC, this is our mistake that we didn't see this. We didn't see the cast iron piping. The GC actually pointed out that we did have cast iron piping and that we either would leave it in and not tell anyone, which is super schemy. Like we don't want to ruin our reputation because Southwest Florida is a tiny investing community. You don't want to ruin your reputation for any dollar amount. So we had to rip that up, spend $15,000 to rip it up, and I think they're putting the floors down. They're putting the floors down on Monday. So that's just something that came up, but with the contingencies that we put in, that wasn't a big deal. It's something that we had already accounted for, but cast iron pipes are very common and something that is not enjoyable when you see it. So they're probably that we're buying as cast iron pipes. So that's a good time. Yeah. So these are the current deals that we have. This property is already being pre-sold. This is the one that we still have 2 months left. We have about 6 weeks left and the $50,000 non-refundable deposit. A couple coming from Colorado, coming down and buying this property. Sure. I think that's it. So again, thanks very much. This is the first time that I am doing this. I'm sure you can see me sweating. So thanks again for coming in.
I know you explained this, but explain it to me again a little slowly. How you're finding these houses
And I saw Australian accent.
at this distress. I mean, they're not totally distressed homes. They're not repossessed. They're not auctioned.
Yeah.
They're just.
So the auction properties, yeah,
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's what we do. When we walk in the property and smell the cactus, we go, shame.
You work with a realtor.
Yeah. Because we
This
can't always
realtor
do that.
gets
so.
all these.
He sends us all the properties.
Every day.
Yeah, he's probably sent me like,
Everything on that.
he's probably sent me 5 listings as well, him speaking. He's always, his wife is still married, but he's just always sending us properties. So we're always.
You think this one has opportunity?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's
All boils down.
exactly, and it's all about the numbers as well. So I think we make an offer on about 20 properties per week, and we go under contract on average of once a week, and then we close once every 4 contracts. So we're offering 80 times before we can close one property. It's exhausting, but I mean, it has to be done. So yeah, and 'cause right now we're in the lowest supply in 65 years in Southwest Florida. I think it's like a 3-week supply right now. It's just it's wild how quick and how high how much people paying for these properties. I haven't seen in 3 months. I haven't seen a property going at or below asking price. It's always above asking price. That's why it's really hard for people like investors who need that extra space to get these deals, because you have retail couples when you flip like what we're doing, who are buying it above market because they can't afford it. So that's why we just keep knocking on the door, keep making offers, keep negotiating, and we eventually find a couple who, or find a family who just want to get out. They have some issues and they're willing to go. So, and we have them out with the short-term close as well.
Can you tell me about your partnership with Tropical Homes
Yeah.
and Best Riverview Homes and
Yeah.
all the different LLCs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the owners, so we have, as I said, we have about 4 or 5 different LLCs that are owned by Hamish Homes and Tropic Coast Homes. So Tropic Coast Homes is the partnership.
Who's the managing partner of that?
That's Eric and Renee Degalo, the guys.
Okay. And then are you guys 50%, 40%? What is your percent?
It's a 50-50 split. Yeah, it's a 50-50 split in our partnership, and then we have LLCs that we have set up for each property that we purchase, and we're always 50-50 partners on each LLC, each entity that we buy.
So what do they do in this business then?
So what they're doing is we have, as we go on with our business, we have very specific roles. Their role, he is more of on he analyzes a lot of the deals. He manages the rehab process, like the rehab project. Manages a lot of the things that we do for talking to outside entities like tax professionals. He's the one who pretty much keeps all our ducks in a row. And then my job in this business is to network, is to get our names out there, is to get deals, is to get money. So we have very defined roles in what we're doing, which is why we've been able to scale up as we've been doing it. So the first 3 or 4 months, we were just casting a wide net and see what we were good at. But now, the more homes that we're buying, the more defined roles that we have, and the more efficient that we are with doing what we're doing.
Tell us about Renee too.
Oh yeah, Renee. So his wife, she's an interior designer, and so she is the one who designs and who gets all of the flooring, the finishes, everything that you see. His wife Renee is the one who figures out everything. She knows the trends before it even happens. Now I don't have a creative bone in my body, so I couldn't do anything like that. But she's the one who one of the properties that we pre-sold, we typically do light blue and grey finishes. The next week, the trend was black and white finishes. So we just changed on the drop of the dime to black and white finishes, because she's the one who.
She walks in and says, "This wall's going, that wall's moving
Yeah.
over here." I mean, she's like,
So when you're staging it, the house is sold, renting the furniture, buying furniture?
Yeah, we rent it for I think we rent it for 2 weeks. We don't need it for more than 2 weeks because it's sold. But yeah.
It appears that they are also doing the same thing in Vegas and in Minnesota based on some of their corporate records. Do they have another person like you?
Yeah, so Vegas, that's where our entity, so Nevada corporate headquarters is where our entity is established, because Nevada has the best legal protection for real estate investors in the country. So Hamish Homes and Tropic Coast Homes are both established they are Florida, they're Nevada companies, but established in Florida. So that's probably where you're seeing
Where does Minnesota come in?
because they're from Minnesota. They've been doing like back and forth, like part time when they were living in Minnesota. They only moved down in 2018.
And one other question, in
Yeah.
terms of, the position of the second investors are taking a second mortgage.
Yeah.
This means the bank or whoever your 85% lender is gonna get the money first, and if there isn't anything left, the second mortgage will not get the money.
Technically, that's correct. I mean, that is correct. But with what we're doing with our properties,
Yeah, no, I understand, I just wanted to.
But technically, yeah, the first position has the priority, and then it just falls down to the second position, and then whoever has gap funding, and then.
And the promissory note that you are offering along with that is a promissory note.
It's from us.
It's from Amish Homes.
It's from whoever is the LLC who owns that property. It's not from Hamish Homes because Hamish Homes is an owner. Or let's say it's Best Riverview Homes. It's one of
Yeah,
the
but if that
LLCs.
LLC has a first mortgage with a lender of 85%, and that LLC can't sell the house, something happens, whatever, insurance will buy it out, and there's no profit in the job, the second mortgage doesn't get paid. Promissory, that LLC has no money to pay that promissory.
I mean, in other words, the LLC is protected, it's an LLC, it owns nothing.
Yeah, because it's just a legal protection.
So I have a question. So,
Yeah.
let's say the market turns and you know, the properties they possess, they can sell for 2/3 of the value. And let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say it's not repossessed because it's and I understand hard money very well. So they take that property back. So you're not able to sell it, your terms are up, so they take that property back. What stops them from selling that property for 85%? What's invested? Because I would imagine the seed money is not just, it's 85% plus the other 15 is all encompassing of real estate fees, they include all the repairs. So what's to stop the hard money people from taking that and selling it for 50%?
Say that again, we can't.
Because they allow us to take the second position. Not all hard money lenders allow a second position on properties, but the Century Lending, who we work with, they allow a second position, so they're legally required to pay back whatever's left after they take back what we had owed them. Because they require.
Who regulates the sale? So let's say that the market changes and not able to sell it, so the hard money people take it back. Now they have to do something with their investment. So when they sell that, who determines what the value is of that? Or what they're permitted to sell?
So what they're
Because
gonna
they
do-
could sell it for 85% and then the second lender will be out.
But again, they allow a second position on the mortgage. So they are legally required to, whatever's left in the money, so they could technically sell it for 85%, it's all depends. But it's worth more than what we owe on the property. Yeah, so, they would probably put up auction and then it would be a bidding up to whatever, it would be.
They're still legally bound to the second
They are, because when they allow.
For whatever the price is sold, they're still legally bound.
They're legally bound up to what is left, of the sale, whatever's left in the sale price. So
They don't get the
it's
full
up to-
amount, they get a portion of what's left.
So they would get, if it's let's say, as an example, it's $1 million that we owe. And they own 85% of that $1 million, so we owe $850,000, and the property sells they'll probably sell at auction for $950,000. Then that will get the 85% back, and then the extra 10% would go back to the second position. Second position would lose that 5%, but they are legally down to pay that second position because they allow it.
What Greg is asking is, who's in charge of selling the property? Because if there's a shady bank or something like that.
So what the bank will do, they hire a real estate brokerage to manage the sale. They put it on the market, they set up the auctions. And, we've been on dozens of auctions, and we just kept falling out of the water. So that's why this was interesting, because you're supposed to get great deals in auctions and short sales and foreclosures, but we get all our deals in the market at retail properties. So we just haven't tried.
So if one lender's giving me 85%, and the private investor's giving me a 15%, what is your skin in the game?
So what we're doing, is we pay a lot of the other expenses that come up.
I'm sorry, say that
We
again?
pay for a lot of the other expenses that come up because we obviously have, 4, 5, 6 properties that we're paying. But really the biggest, so we probably pay out of our own money, probably $10,000 to $20,000 per property in terms of like insurance payments, different expenses like appliances, other like financing costs. But the biggest thing for us, as I said before, is reputation. There's no dollar amount that we can make that we can justify using our reputation. Because it's, as I said, it's a very small community in Southwest Florida, and as soon as I've seen it happen, as soon as word gets out that you're trying to scam people out of money, then you're not welcome back in any circle. No agents don't work with you, no lenders don't lend to you. So reputation is really the biggest thing for us, especially at the beginning portion when we're trying to scale up to what we can be.
There's gotta be some juice.
Sorry.
There's gotta be some juice in the game, is what he's saying. It's like,
Yeah. As I said, we probably put about
3%, 5%, something like that.
Yeah, we put about $10,000 to $20,000 of our own money into each property. And as I said, we can't scale up. We have 6 properties we're managing ourselves. So, and
What is your goal next year, this year, 2021, 2022, in terms of number of houses? What are you capable of, and what is your goal?
so last year when we were reaching the end of the year, my goal was to double the properties that we're buying. But we found the trajectory that where we were going, we were buying more expensive properties because that's where our niche was, with high-end properties, very trendy, very modern, expensive homes. Yeah, exactly. So instead, we've twisted it to double the volume, double the value of what we're buying instead of doubling the properties. So we'll probably still buy once a month, but we'll be buying double the value of properties instead. And we'll also, yeah. Sorry.
How did you get involved?
I just so Ellen and I moved down to Florida last January, and 4 days after we got there, I went to my first real estate investors association meeting. And then Eric and Renee, they've been a part of that, a member with the Real for about a year, and they sat exactly behind us. And then we just handing out business cards, and we met. And then over the next 4 or 6 weeks, we were talking about our goals, what we're looking for in business and real estate. And we had a really good conversation. We connected really well, and it turns out we wanted exactly the same things about business. And that's really been the strength in the past since January 2020. So. Yeah, we just meeting people and networking and educating ourselves.
I might add, I don't think you're being fair to yourself. He also owned property in Australia. His parents actually did a lot of some degree of house flipping.
My parents
kind of grew up with that too.
My parents owned about 15 properties in Australia when I was growing up, and my boy rented properties in Australia when I graduated high school. That's actually selling that to bring money over here to start our own business because the first 2 properties that we bought was with our own money, and then that was obviously exhausting and draining the equity. So we're like, we need to figure out a way that we can bring other investors in and still make that money, and so we can still keep making houses. So that's how we got started.
And the only town that Eric and Renee are doing this business in now is in Cape Coral, Florida area?
Yeah, so
Are they
they
in
are.
any other area?
Well, they're buying rental properties around the country, as are we. We're buying rental properties in Alabama, but that's not part of the active business. So in the active business, they're only actively flipping in Southwest Florida. But they could be, they could be doing buying rental properties in Minnesota, which they're probably doing that. They probably have a few rental properties in Minnesota. Sure.
But it's not part of your.
It's not part of the active, because we have an active LLC and we have a passive LLC. So it's just for tax reasons, we just have different entities.
No, but if they're doing all the rehab and all the remodeling, then I'm just curious how much they're spread thin from that part of the business.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, so if they have businesses in other parts of the country that involve spending a lot of time at, and they're in charge of remodeling.
Yeah, but the rental properties that they're owning, they're not.
Yeah, rental properties that don't require.
Yeah. Yeah, so all of.
But they're in Florida full time, right?
Yeah, they live like 10 minutes away from us. Yeah. So we're all down there, we're all hands on deck. I see him 6 days a week, and yeah, we always have like a meeting, one meeting per week, reviewing the numbers, reviewing the properties, seeing what we can do better. So we're in this for a long time. We're not here to get a quick buck and leave. So that's why reputation is the biggest thing for us.
you ever thought of doing new construction? Or anything like that?
Yes, yes, I love new construction. We what like our business table we call it with like 4 legs. We have low end builds, low end rehabs, high end rehabs, wholesales, and new construction. Right now we are doing the low end and high end builds. With where we are right now with our contractor Mike Carroll, he sits down and probably new builds, so he's pretty familiar with that process. But the thing with new builds, I was telling you before, it takes 12 months to start a house, between like 12 and 18 months to build a brand new house, especially right now because everything's back there. There's no, they can't build houses fast enough.
Even when things were good in Florida, it takes
Yeah, so
here it's 6 months.
yeah, and that's actually a reason why we're going towards rehabbing high-end properties instead of doing a new construction because the high-end properties, it takes, so that the riverfront properties, it takes 6 months to rehab that to make it look brand new. Because the only thing that is safe is the ground that's sitting on it. We're putting 400 grand into that rehab and making it, which is completely brand new and it's going to be done in a third of the time as new construction fee. So that's also a huge advantage that we have in the market. Right. Again, thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate you shooting out. If you have any more questions, I think everyone has my business card. Send me an email or